and works with Anas. Today video we will discuss about methods in Java. So let's start the video. So first one is understanding the methods in Java with a real world example. Before we go jump to the example of ATM machine, first we need to understand what is methods in Java, types of methods in Java, and why use methods in Java. Let's explore one by one. So what is methods? Methods are block of instructions which is used to perform a specific task. Basically, it is instructions which is provided uh, for your methods to perform well. So it is used to increase the code reusability and modularity. Methods help in organize code into a smaller and manageable parts. Basically, a methods is a protocols means how your methods behave. It's called it as a protocols or instructions provided to your method. Just like filling the form in any website. So you just have to follow the instructions where you write your first name, where you write your second name, third name, and all of these kind of things is considered as an instruction. The method is also act as it is instructions means whatever the instruction providing your methods is behave like that only. Let's go to the next part. So the next is our types of methods in Java. So there are two types of methods in Java. In the built-in methods that is called as a predefined methods in Java. Example of method squared, system.out.println, system.out.print. So whatever the methods you are getting from the Java imported is considered as a built-in method or predefined methods in Java. Also, we have a user-defined methods that are created by programmers to perform a specific task is considered as a user-defined methods in Java. They also have functionality types of methods that is called it as a parameterized methods or no argument methods. We'll discuss in further videos. In this videos, we will just focus on what is methods and why we use methods and types of methods in Java. Let's go to the next part of why we use methods in Java. So basically methods we use for a code reusability means write once or use multiple times. Suppose if you have a method like a payment, so if you have a multiple app like PhonePe, Google Pay, so you don't have to write the same method in multiple times. You just inherited that method from one class to another class and use that method is considered as a code usability and reusability and easily to access that methods. You don't have to write whole methods. And also it comes with a modularity. Break large code into a smaller parts. You can break the code your smaller parts to understand easily what is happening in your methods. And also readability to make the program easier to understand and easy to debugging. Fixing errors becomes simpler. Means you can fix your errors in easily for the easy debugging. If your method is small or well enough maintained. Let's go to the next part. So imagine ATM machine and ATM machine that perform a different tasks like check balance, withdraw money, and deposit money. Like let's take one example. If you are staying in PG or hostel, okay, your renter is calling you for I want to money because your time is over. So what you do, you just call your father or parents to send me the money, I have to give the renter. So what your dad do? Just send you the money through the phone pay or bank, and you receive that money. First, what you need to do, you just go to the phone pay, Google Pay, and check what the money is received or not. After receiving, you call the renters, give your mobile numbers, I will send you through the phone pay. But what your renter said, I want to cash. I don't want to be a online payment, because getting some we get suffered with some hacking, so they want to money as a cash. So what you need to do, you have to go to the ATM. So let's go to the ATM. After going to the ATM, first what you need to do, you just swipe your ATM in the ATM machine. After that, you will get some functionality or interface like check balance, withdraw money, and deposit money. So you have to withdraw money. First, you have to enter the password. After password, you have to get the withdraw money, deposit money, or check balance. So you just click to the withdraw money, and then you have to how much money you want. You have to type it here. So that also have some instructions. You have to type only 200, 500, 100. You can't be right like a 50 rupees or 10 rupees, because that can have some instructions. You cannot t- uh, put, type that kind of money. So after typing your money like 1000 or 5000, after that click the enter, and then you receive your money. Or else you will also enter the password again, and after that you will collect your money. So that is called it as a example of ATM machine to understand how the method works, how the instruction you are provided by the uh, bank to receive your money easily through the ATM, and going back to your PC and hostel and give you that money to your friend. That's all about this video. Next video we will take the example of ATM, and we will discuss about the how the programs work, like that. We will use some static program and discuss how methods work. Let's also discuss about the technical terminology of the method, that is method terminology, access modifier, return type, method name, and formal argument. So how we understand what type of method we have to write. Let's suppose if you have a modifier, return type, method name, and formal argument is considered as a method signature. Means what type of modifier you give there. If there is a right or give there is considered as a type of method. Suppose if you have write here a static, is considered as a static type of method. If you are writing a default, is considered as a default type or non-static method. If you have write a private here, it considered as a private method. We cannot inherit outside the class. So to understand your method, what type of method is considered as a method signature, and if you have a access modifier, return type, method name, formal is considered as a method declaration. So whole method is considered as a method declaration. Access modifier is decide where public is needs to access to outside the class, also outside the package also. If your method is a protected, is considered as a inside of class, and inside of package itself you can access that method. So that is called as the access modifier. We will discuss in later video how many access modifiers and modifiers, how it works, and what will be the role in the methods. Also, we have a block of method block, that is a method block, body, or implementations. You can say anything about this block, that is called as a method block. So all this kind of thing is considered as a method definitions. This is the technical terminology. I thought you have to understand this also. So that's why I just explained that as well. Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Unbox with Anas. Today video we will discuss about ATM example and program. how it runs. So let's start the video. Uh, For the ATM programs, we need something that is whatever the requirements we needed to just write it here. So that is first we need a constructor to initialize balance. Then we need a method to check balance. Then we need a method to withdraw money, and we need a method to deposit money. So let's start the video. First we need one variables that is private double balance. And balance, or and why is a balance is a double type? Because balance have a double type of data or money. Means the have means balance always have a decimal numbers. Okay, so let's create this constructor. So constructor name should always be your class name, same as your class name. ATM double double initial balance, and we store the current reference to the our balance variable. This stored balance is equal to initial balance. So we just storing the current reference inside the balance. So whatever the money we are providing here, it will be storing that same current reference inside the balance. Then we need a method check our balance. Public void check balance. So this method name, and we have use this out to check our balance. So the first we need a current balance is equal to plus a balance. First we need to check what will be our balance is. Next we need next method is withdraw money. So let's create it. Public void withdraw. Withdraw WITHDRAW withdraw, and we need variables to how much amount you want to withdraw. For that we need amount type of variables. Then if you want to transaction means withdraw money, for that first we need to check that amount should be less than of your current amount, otherwise it will show the insufficient balance in the account. So let's if check amount is greater than balance. If our amount is greater than balance, what we need to show. So sys out no insufficient balance. PINT insufficient balance in your account, or you can write a system dot error dot println, so it will show in a red line to amount in your account is not available. Then what if an amount is available in your account? So For that, we need one more condition, that is a else balance minus equal to amount. Here we are using assignment operators minus equal to. Instead of write balance is equal to balance minus amount, instead of that we just use a balance minus equal to amount. So directly we just do this, and after withdraw we need a statement, this out withdraw successfully. Withdraw successfully, and the current remaining balance what is that? RS plus balance. Completed. Withdraw money method is completed now. Control Shift plus F to provide orientation to your program. Then the next one is deposit money. If you have a money and you want to deposit or send add in your account, for that public void deposit, and we need our variable, that is the amount balance plus equal to amount. Adding the amount in your account, we need a balance, means your whatever the balance in your current account, matlab current means a current balance what is in your account is a balance plus equal to amount. We just adding inside the balance plus amount. So what will be the new balance? So the new balance is out deposit successfully. Deposit successfully. And the new balance, what is that? What that? RS plus balance. So method of deposit is also completed. So here instead of using a balance equal to balance plus amount, we just use a shortcut, that is a balance plus equal to amount. This is a operators of assignment. See, now I want to provide the orientation of our programs to look good. We need the control Shift plus F. See, our program now looks good. Now, so here we have a main method where you have to call your method. See, our all method is a non-static method. So for that, to calling that method, we need an object. So we create the object of our ATM type object. ATM, my ATM is equal to new ATM, and also we need to analyze our money, how much amount in your account. So in my account, the current balance is a 500. So for checking that, we have a method is check balance here. We just call that method and my ATM dot check balance. Let's run this program. See, we will get a current balance Rs 500 in your account. So the balance in your account, you can perform other operations. So after check balance, we can withdraw our money. So let's call this withdraw method my ATM dot wi withdraw. Let's suppose you have to withdraw 200 in your account and run this. See, withdraw successfully. Remaining balance Rs 300. What if you are entering more than your current balance? Let's suppose if you are entering 600 and run it, what will we get? Insufficient balance, because your balance is 500 and you are trying to transfer a 600 amount in your account to another account. So it works fine. That is here 200. After that, we have a one more method, that is a deposit money. So let's take my ATM dot deposit. Let's suppose if you want to 1000 to deposit in your account. Run it. See, deposit successfully. Our new balance is Rs 1300. So last one, to check the updated account balance. My ATM dot check balance. Again, run this program. See, the current balance is 1300. It works fine and all the conditions is satisfied. That's all about in this video. Let me comment out something here. For your understanding, I have just added something. Creating an ATM object with an initial balance of Rs 500. Next one is just checking the balance. So we just comment out here a check balance. Withdraw 200, we just added withdraw Rs 200. Deposit Rs 1000 and check updated balance. That's all about in this video. So let me, yeah, you can see Java programming here. Thank you for watching this video. So the first one is what are the things we learned in this video. The overview is access modifier and types of access modifier, modifiers and types of modifiers in Java, return type and type of return type. And also we learned the word is a keyword in Java. How its role in the method we'll discuss later. So let's explore one by one. The access modifier. Access modifiers are used to modify the accessibility. Your method means whatever your method, your right, your variables, your constructor, you can provide the accessibility of your method, variables, and constructor. That is called the access modifier. How to access your method. Let's suppose if you make your method private, means you cannot access that method outside the class and outside the package. If you want to access, you have to use getters and setters to use that method indirectly. So, what are the access modifiers in Java? So, there are four types of access modifiers in Java. That is public, protected, default, private. We are not going to deepen down to discuss public, protect, default, and private separately. So, just the overview, what are the modifiers in Java? That is a public, protected, default, private. So, next one is modifiers in Java. So basically modifiers are used to modify the behavior of a method. Means how your method behaves, it depends on modifiers. Means if you want to identify your method, what type of method you write, or if you want to see someone else code to what type of method they are writing, write it. So you just take the modifiers, what modifier they are using, public, static, public, void. So it depends on what you what they are writing in their methods. Means they can write the static, non-static, binary, volatile, and synchronized. These are the five types of modifiers which we can mention in our method how the methods behave. If you mention the static means your method behave like a static, and you can call that method using the class name. Or if your method is non-static means public, void, that kind of method is called as a non-static method. If you want to deep knowledge about the static and non-static, I also made the video. You can go and check it out. Final means your variables. Whatever the return the variables, it will be a final. Your method can behave like a final. Volatile and synchronized. We are not going to deep in this video. If you want to the video in this topic, I will make in another lecture. Means after the oops concept will be done, then I'll teach you the much about the modifiers and access modifier. Now that is enough to understand what are the modifiers in Java and access modifiers in Java. So the next one is a return type. Every method after performing a task can return a data back to the caller. Means what whatever the method you're writing in your program, means if their method is integer type, string type, double type, that method should return what type of data they were returning. That is called a return type. A return type is a data type. Means return type is specified types of data returned by the method. Means what kind of data your method will be returning is specified. Means identify the method what kind of data it will be returned. So if we talk about the types of return types, that is primitive data type, non-primitive data type, and void. If you want to more about the primitive and non-primitive, I can mention the three dot. You can go there and watch the video of primitive data type and non-primitive data type in deep. So in this video, just we discuss about the void. So the void is a keyword. It is also a data type. Void is used as a return type only when the method is not returning any data. Means if your method is not returning any data, that means your method will be a void. Means your method should annotate it as a void instead of static or static method. Or if you are specify the string type method or integer type method, instead of that you have to write a void. That means your method cannot return any data. That's all about in this video. Thank you for watching Tech and Works with Anas. Next video we will discuss formal argument, types of methods based on the formal argument, no argument method, parameterize method, and the call flow of method. That means method call flow. We'll discuss in the next video. Hello guys, welcome back to Tech and Works with Anas. Today video we will discuss about the formal argument in Java. So let's go to the overview of formal argument and types of formal argument. Discuss in this video. Method call statement, actual argument, method call statement. These four things we'll discuss in this later. So before wasting the time, let's start the video. So the first one is what is a formal argument and type. So the variables created in a method declaration is known as a formal argument. Let's explore with an example. So the formal arguments are used to receive the data from the caller. Means who gives you caller we call the method. So here, as you can see, int sum is a method. The type of method is an int type, and the variable which is created inside the uh, method block int p and int q. These two variables created inside the method is called it as a formal argument. And what type of data it return plus q. So as you can see, the int type of method is to return the int type of data. So let's discuss the types of method based on the formal argument. So we have a no argument method and parameterized method. Let's discuss one by one. So the first one is no argument method. The method which doesn't contain only formal argument method is known as a no argument method. So you can see this example int sum no argument means no data, no variable is created inside the sum block or some parenthesis inside of that. We don't creating any variables. That is why we call it as a no argument method. It does not have any variable created inside the sum block. And the instructions means whatever instruction we have write inside the method is considered as a method to perform those tasks. I hope you will understand our no argument method in Java. If you don't, you can listen again because the just simple thing int sum is equal to int sum and inside of parentheses we don't create any variables. That is why it considered as a no argument method in Java. The method type is int type data int, so it will return the int type data. So next one is parameterized. As you can see here in this image, the no argument method is the variables is not created inside the method is considered as a no argument method. So the next one is a parameterized method. The method which contains formal argument is known as a parameterized method. As you can see this example, int sum is equal to int a, int b, and the parenthesis is at the block of the method instruction. And you can see here the argument which passing inside the method is considered as a parameterized method. So int a, int b means we just creating here the two variables int a, int b. That is why this method is considered as a parameterized method. And the inside of the variables is called it as a argument. So, I hope you will understand the parameterized method also. Just a simple thing that is just creating the variables inside the method is considered as a parameterized method, and the variable which created inside the method is considered as an argument. So the next one is method call statement in Java. The method which is used to call the method is known as a method call statement. Means, as you can see here, the syntax of the method call statement is method name and the actual argument is call it as a method call statement. Where your program is executed is means the when you call your method is call it as a method call statement. Here to your program will start to execute your code. If you don't call your method, then your method will not execute it. Without calling the method, it will never execute. and I'm forgetting to mention the semicolon here to end the method. And the next one is the actual argument. Means the argument which passing in the dynamic means real time is called it as an actual argument. When you run the program, from then you have to give an input. That input is called it as an actual argument. So the data passed to the method is known as an actual argument. And you can say that the data passed to the method which have an actual argument is known as an actual argument. That means the data passed to the method is known as an actual argument. That means the method call statement, which method is called, that method should pass the actual argument. Is called it as an actual argument. That's all about in this video. Thank you for watching a Tech Unbox with Anas. Next video we will discuss method call flow, calling method or caller, and called method. Also, we will do some programming as a method part so you will clearly understand how the method is work. Thank you for watching. Before you go, let's subscribe my channel for another videos, or you can say the upcoming videos. Hello guys, welcome back to Tech Unbox with Anna. Today video we will discuss about overview of method call flow, calling method or caller, called method, and some example of the method. So let's start the video. So the first one is method call flow. Basically it's about the rule of the method, how the method execute. So the first one is whenever the method call statement is executed, control is given to call method. The next one is once the method got the control from the caller, it start to executed. And the next one is once execution of called method is executed, the given back to the caller. The next one is the called gets the control is assumed. Next one is a calling method or caller. So the basically is the method which is tried to another method. One second, guys. Means the method which is trying to call another method is known as a calling method or caller. Let's take one example to understand the calling method or caller. So here we have an example class. Example inside of this class we have a two methods. First one is void called method, and next one is void calling method. And you can see here inside of calling method we are just calling inside the called method, that is call it as a calling method or calling another method. Means in this you can see the method which is trying to call another method is known as a calling method or caller. So here as you can see this example, here we are calling inside the another method, that is a called method, that is considered as calling another method. And here we have a main method. Inside of main method we just creating the object to call our method. So object dot calling method, what will happen? The first is caller goes to the void calling method and enter the block. Inside of block you can see the first statement is called method. Then instead of executing this is the calling method, just first go to the a first method, that is a called method. Then the call method will execute the instructions. After that, the caller come back to the calling method and execute the instruction about this is the calling method. The definition of whenever the method call statement is executed, control is given to the call method. The same thing is happen here. The call method is controller is given to the controller called method, and the call method first executed. After that, calling method will be executed. So the next one is a called method. What is that? The definition of the called method is the method which is being called by the caller is known as a called method. So here the example is same as the previous one. So we avoid called method. Okay, this is a called method and this is a calling method. And inside of that we have a called method, just trying to call the calling another method. So the definition is the method which is being called by the caller is known as a call method. Means so this method is trying to call the called method. That is why it's called it as a called method. So this calling method is call it as a called method. I hope you will understand the called method. It's the simple thing. The called method means the method which is called the another method is called as a called method. So inside of calling method we have a called method, right? So this method will be called after before the calling method inside of this block. When the first statement is a called method. So this call method by controller goes to the first one is a called method and enter this block and execute the instruction. So the next one is who is called the parameterize method. So the numbers of actual argument should be numbers of formal argument, or we can say types of actual argument same as type of formal argument. Let's go to the Eclipse to understand more about the flow of method. So let's take the example. So here we have a class of example. Inside of that we have to create a two method. First one is void call method. Inside of that we have to write this out and write this is the called method. And the next one is we have to one more method void a calling method. Calling method. Inside of this block the first statement is we have to call the called method first. Okay, so inside of that call method, then this out, this is the calling method. So also we need a main method to call our to execute our programs. So we just created the main method, and inside of that to calling this method, this is a non-static method. So for that we need an object to call our method. Example is equal to new example, and then just we call this method example dot calling method. What will happen if its program run? Which one is first executed? So as you can see here, the second one is a calling method. So when we run this program, what will happen? Let's run this first, then we understand. See, first this is the called method will be executed. Then this is the calling method is executed. How? Because so when we call this method calling method, the control goes to the calling method. And when we go to the calling method, inside of this block, we have a first instruction, first statement that is a calling method. Is trying to call. So when is going to here, the control is goes back to the called method and execute these instructions. After executing these instructions, control come back to the calling method and check if there any other instructions is there or not. So as you can see here, the next statement is system.out.println. This is the calling method. So that's why the next one is this is the calling method. For your understanding, you just write here calling another method. Calling another method. As you know that method call flow is just whenever the method called statement is executed, control is given to the called method. The same thing is happening here. So void calling method inside of that call method. The call method, then control goes back to the called method and execute the instructions. So I hope you will understand this example. If you think about why we need a call method, so just think about here we have a calling method. Inside of this method, suppose if you need to check the even numbers, then you have to divide your input. For that, you need to also perform the even method you have to create here. So instead of creating inside of this calling method, what we need to do, just creating here. Instead of the call method, we just write the even number or check even numbers. So whatever the person performing here, that will be automatically come to the here, and then they can perform the another task. If they want to divide, they can divide. So for that reason, you need a call method. That's all about in this video. Next video, we will discuss the next part of the method. Static, non-static method and members or variables in Java. Also, we also discuss about the scanner, how to read, how to dynamic read. So that's all about in this video. Thank you for watching Tech Unbox with Anas. Before you go, let's subscribe my channel.